PCOS got you so exhausted that just the thought of cooking a healthy meal or exercising feels impossible? Look, you're not lazy. PCOS fatigue is real and one I commonly struggle with myself as a fellow sister. Today, I want to talk about why you might be feeling so exhausted with PCOS and share small, simple tweaks you can make to help you finally have more energy and reach your health goals with PCOS. So first, probably the most common reason I see for my clients feeling like they have no energy is because they just simply aren't fueling their bodies properly. And so this means they're either A, not eating enough in general, or B, not eating enough of what I call the PCOS Powerful 3, which is fiber, protein, and healthy fats. So one of the most common pieces of advice that doctors give when they tell you to lose weight with PCOS is just to eat less and move more. And so because of this, they're usually severely under-eating, and specifically at certain meals, like not eating enough at breakfast or lunch, and this leads to cravings later on in the day. So either they're not eating enough in general, which is contributing to their hormone imbalance, which is making it really hard to lose weight, or they're not eating enough of those PCOS Powerful 3, which are 3 really key nutrients which help with balancing your hormones, lowering inflammation, controlling cravings, and boosting your energy levels. And that's once again fiber, protein, and healthy fats. And so having items on hand that can help you to make those quick and easy meals that prioritize those PCOS Powerful 3 can really help with boosting your energy levels. And contrary to common belief, not all convenience foods are unhealthy. In fact, there are plenty of foods that are quick and convenient that still fall into that PCOS Powerful 3 and can help you throw together a really healthy snack or meal when you have zero energy. Some of my favorites for these include Greek yogurt cups, hard-boiled eggs, chia seeds, tuna pouches or salmon pouches, rotisserie chicken, dry roasted edamame, cheese sticks, or Barilla Protein Plus pasta. And if you want ideas for some simple PCOS-friendly meals and snacks that are really quick to whip up, be sure to grab my free 7-day PCOS diet plan. It has 30 pages full of foods and meals and snacks that are PCOS friendly. And now the next thing I see quite a lot that can really contribute to that PCOS fatigue is having too sedentary of a lifestyle, which I know it can feel near impossible to start any type of exercise routine when you're always just so exhausted. But I have to say, I and my clients always find such a huge boost in energy when we start doing some type of physical activity, even if it's small. And so here are some realistic solutions to help you get started. First, the biggest hurdle is just that getting started. And so one thing that I found helpful for me is to tell myself that I just have to do 5 or 10 minutes. And then after that, if I'm still not having it, I still feel exhausted, then I can stop. Because usually once I get started and I'm doing that 5 or 10 minutes, then I start to feel a little bit more energy and I feel like I can keep going to do the 20 or 30 minutes. And so I think I've only actually stopped after that 5 to 10 minutes maybe a couple of times on those days that, I really was just feeling tired and I was listening to my body and saying, you know what, this just isn't beneficial right now. But like I said, this has only been a couple of times, and every other time I get that boost of energy, I can keep going and I feel so much better and energized after I do the workout than when I started. And your workout doesn't have to be a full 60 minutes, even just 15 to 30 minutes can still be super beneficial. Once again, we're just trying to get started here, so it's okay to start small. The next tip is to find some type of physical activity that you actually enjoy doing. So if going to the gym and pump and iron is just not your thing and you'd rather take a nice walk along a lake and that's more relaxing and peaceful, and that's more your vibe, then do that. That still counts. But doing a physical activity routine that you actually enjoy versus something you just think you should be doing is going to help motivate you to actually want to do it and stick with it. So if you enjoy lifting weights, then do that. If you enjoy doing Pilates, do that. If you'd rather be doing pickleball or something that's more where you're out with friends, then do that. Do physical activity that you actually enjoy and you're going to look forward to doing. And then the next tip for this is to pair your physical activity with something else that you really enjoy doing. I find when I'm not really looking forward to doing my workout, I do usually listen to my podcast or an audiobook or something or some music while I am doing my weightlifting. And I usually find I'm looking forward more to catching up on that podcast than I am actually the workout itself. But I tell myself I can't listen to that podcast unless I'm pairing it with that workout, just to help motivate me to actually do it. And so this could be a strategy that works for you as well. Maybe it's catching up on your favorite TV show or listening to your favorite music or podcast along with your workout or with your afternoon walk. And now we're to the third most common reason I see for that PCOS fatigue. So a lot of my clients will tell me that they're still exhausted despite getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And the thing is, they might be getting a quantity of sleep, but they're not getting good quality sleep, meaning they're not getting that good deep sleep that leaves us feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. And that's vital for balancing your hormones, especially for helping to balance cortisol levels, which can be really important for losing weight with PCOS, as I talked about in my video here about why it's so difficult to lose weight with PCOS, and can just really help with fighting that PCOS fatigue. And here are some tips to help you to get that quality sleep. The first is to be sure you're cutting off caffeine consumption about 6 to 8 hours before you go to bed. So this is usually around like 2 or 3 o'clock for most people. And this is common because a lot of women with PCOS, they're struggling with that afternoon slump, and they're reaching for that caffeine to help give them that energy to get through the rest of the day. But the thing is, if you're having that caffeine too close to bedtime, then it can impact the quality of sleep that you have, even if you're able to fall asleep no problem. And this can also lead to that vicious cycle because you're turning to that caffeine in the afternoon or evening to help you get through the rest of your day. That impacts your sleep, so you're not able to sleep as well, so you wake up feeling exhausted and groggy and just not well rested, and then the whole day you're trying to rely on that caffeine again, which then once again just disrupts your sleep later that night. I've had so many clients that have stopped drinking the caffeine later in the day, or at least switching to decaf, and they get so much better sleep, and they're amazed at how much better they feel a couple of days later because they're actually getting good quality sleep. Next, you want to make sure to have a good wind down routine to help your body get ready for the evening, get ready for bed. And so this can be like reading or journaling, something to help calm your mind down. You really want to avoid looking at screens about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. The brightness of the screens can trigger our body to reduce the melatonin that it produces. And that melatonin is what your body uses to help get you into that good deep sleep. And I know this one's hard, but try the best you can to avoid those screens, phones, TVs, those kind of things, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. And then you want to make sure that you have a good sleep environment that promotes that good sleep. So having a cool, dark room, using blackout curtains to help block out any light, or using a sleep mask can be really beneficial too, just to block out that light and help promote that really good deep sleep. And so you want to be sure that you're getting quality sleep, not just that quantity of sleep. All right, now I shared a lot of different tips, and you don't need to overhaul everything with your diet and lifestyle overnight. Start with what's manageable. Start with, 1 or 2 things that I mentioned that feel doable, that feel realistic for you, and try to start incorporating those to help with your energy levels. And next, if you want some super simple meal prep tips and advice for when you have zero energy, be sure to check out this video here where I walk you through my PCOS meal prepping that I can do in 30 minutes or less for my week. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to nourish yourself with grace, and I'll catch you in the next one.